Silent Hill 2's Platinum Trophy is one of the most unsuspecting trophy lists that I have ever seen, because at first glance it looks like your usual trophy list for a horror game, but if you examine it closer, you start to notice. Before we get to what makes this Platinum Trophy an absolute nightmare, let's get everything else out of the way first. For the Platinum, you have to beat the game 6 different times to acquire all 6 endings. Starting with my first playthrough, I went in blind having never played a Silent Hill game before, and I gotta say, this game is incredible and unlike anything I've ever played before, and that last compliment is specifically attributed to the tank controls. Whoa, dude. Okay. Whoa, okay. Alright. Uh-oh. Ah, shit. Alright, this is gonna screw with me super hard. Joking aside, it actually takes quite a while before I pop the first trophy, which is for defeating the flesh lips in the hospital section of the game. Once I entered the museum section and picked up my 150th item of the playthrough, I popped the Keen Eye trophy. And not long after that, we make it to a rather uncomfortably themed room and fight the Abstract Papa, and with its defeat, we get the Childhood Trauma trophy. During the final segment of the game, there are 2 boss fights back to back, and of course, just like the fights that came before them, there are trophies tied to completing each fight. And with that brings us the ending of the game, giving us the free-to-go trophy for getting more or less the normal ending of the game. Which now brings us to the topic of different endings. As I've said before, there are 6 unique endings in Silent Hill 2, all of which have extremely specific requirements. In my first playthrough, you saw I got the Leave ending, which is essentially like a participation trophy in the form of an ending, since it requires you to do basically anything a normal non-trophy hunting ass nerd would do for their first playthrough. For every other playthrough, there are requirements that range from staying at low health for a prolonged period of time, to something as minute as not bumping into Maria. You may think I'm being overdramatic, but I'm really not. This is all well-documented stuff. But anyways, for my second playthrough, I went for the In Water ending, which has you examine Angela's knife regularly, read the diary pages on the roof, read the message to James in Neely's bar after the hospital, listen to the headphones at the Lakeview Hotel, listen to the entire hallway dialogue at the end of the game, and finally, stay at low health for long periods of time. Grab something, put it in the hand, like I have to go grab 2 rings, put them on a hand. That is cheap as f***. That is unreactable. Bro, I loaded in and I was dead. But after fulfilling all the requirements, I made it to the end, and it was at this point where my Twitch chat decided that it was okay to completely ruin emotional scenes.
Mary?
James.
Keeping it in. But after the credits, we popped the trophy Goodbye for earning the In Water ending. It's also worth mentioning I got the chainsaw at the beginning of the playthrough as well, which popped the Overkill trophy. Up next was the Maria ending, and ooh, just saying that fills me up with cortisol. For this ending, you basically have to do everything opposite of what you did in the In Water ending, on top of babysitting Maria. Maria time! And we have to walk super slow, and I'm not exaggerating, this is what you have to do. Talking to her at multiple specific points during the story, not bumping into her, and finally avoid going the wrong way when exiting the bowling alley. Now I know I've complained about this ending, but I didn't really struggle with the requirements. I instead struggled with playing on action level hard. Come on Maria, let's go. Okay, I think I need to use the pistol here. Now, while that was merely annoying, what happened later was downright soul-crushing. Alright, that worked. One shot. I'm gonna go save right now so I'd never have to do that again. I need to walk away for a moment. I need Oh no. Basically, so what happens, right? So for the 10-star playthrough, you need to get 75 kills from melee and 75 kills from handguns, whatever, guns. There's no way to track that in-game other than the trophy. So if you got the trophy already, I'm gonna have to manually count it now for when I go for the 10-star playthrough. I honestly never thought I'd ever be so unhappy to see a trophy pop. The other part I struggled with was with the final boss, as it apparently takes 30 minutes to beat her the normal way when playing on hard. Yep. What more do you f***ing want from me here? Come on now. But it's a good thing that there's a failsafe in the game to prevent you from getting softlocked. You see, if you don't have any ammo when entering a boss room and you kind of just run around for a few minutes, the boss will kind of just die even if you didn't do anything to it. Bet you didn't know that, huh? There we go. There you go. And there we go. That's how you beat that boss. And with her defeated once again, I got the Maria ending, thus earning me the second best trophy. Having just played through the game 3 times now, I kind of wanted a change in scenery, so I completed Maria's scenario, which was very short, and got the Restless Dreams trophy. Now going back to the regular game, I went for the Rebirth ending for my 4th playthrough, which is thankfully very simple to get. All you have to do is obtain the 4 special items that have trophies tied to them, starting with the White Chrism, the Book of Lost Memories, the Obsidian Goblet, and finally, the Book of Crimson Ceremony. And with all of those collected in one playthrough earns us the Say Your Prayers trophy for getting the Rebirth ending, along with the IQ test trophy for beating the game on extra riddle difficulty. And now it was finally time to take on the 10-star playthrough. And this has a lot of requirements, so listen up. In order to complete a 10-star run, you must fulfill the following requirements. Play on action level hard, play on riddle level hard or extra if you're kind of built different, acquire 6 of the 7 available endings, which by the way, this game only keeps track of this if you have the save files, so make sure you have them all separately. Beat the game with 2 saves or less. Your saves are your checkpoints, so if you die, you go back to your last save, and if you didn't save, well, you get the idea. Beat the game in under 3 hours, collect 150 items, collect the 8 special items, kill 75 enemies with melee. Remember the trophy that popped during the Maria playthrough? Yeah, I have to count them manually now because there's no tracker in the game to tell you how many kills you have outside of the trophy popping. Kill 75 enemies with guns, which for some reason are weaker than James's foot, but then again, I played Dead Space, so I have no room to complain. Beat the boat section in under 80 seconds. We'll talk about why this is fucking stupid later. And finally, beat the game taking under 500 points of damage. Okay, did you get all that? Jesus Christ, I don't know why I do this to myself for a little fucking JPEG. Before even starting the playthrough, go ahead and open the options menu and press R1 and you'll see an option called Bullet Adjust. You're gonna want to go ahead and flip that sucker to ×3 so that ammo will not be an issue since your bullets do about as much damage as a gummy bear when playing on action level hard. With all that said, we start the run and immediately pick up the blue gem right at the beginning as this is one of the 8 required special items for the 10-star run. Picking this up also pops the We Are Not Alone trophy. Also be sure to not forget the chainsaw as this is another one of the 8 special items. Now, this run kinda started off pretty shitty as I took a lot of damage early on and I even got grabbed during the Pyramid Head fight, which I have never seen. Move. Oh my god, you've gotta be f***ing kidding me. I've never been hit by that. Despite the rocky start, I chugged along, picking up plenty of items including 2 special items, those being the Book of Lost Memories and the Dog Key, the latter of which popped the Man's Best Friend trophy. And I'd say things were going moderately okay, until I got to the hospital. That's a big problem room. I don't know how to deal with that room. And since I didn't use my first save yet, I had to redo everything. So I picked up all of the required special items, and then the nicest gentleman to ever exist in the history of planet Earth, Jazzy, rated my stream. And with that kind of pressure, I'm pretty sure you can imagine what came next. Don't! In all seriousness, thank you, Jazzy. I appreciate it, dude. So I did everything again, and this time beat Pyramid Head almost flawlessly and made it back to the hospital, only to shoot Maria in the face. Now, I was pretty tilted, but I started another run doing everything all over again, and this time I decided it'd be a good idea to skip to the 3rd floor so that Maria can take a nap.
Good night.
And then I took on the 2nd floor, as I learned that having Maria around is kind of an unnecessary risk, and with her gone, I was finally able to make some progress all throughout the hospital. While here, I also used the blue gem in this exterior area to signal one of the UFOs, for a reason I will get to later. But going back to the topic of unnecessary risks, I was deciding where to finally use my first save, and I had the brilliant idea of saving after the Pyramid Head chase. So here's how that went. Let's fucking go, dude. After exhausting all confidence on that chase scene, which is, by the way, completely RNG if you just run like you normally would, I used my first save before exiting the hospital. Now, a good time to farm for melee and gun kills is when you're heading to the museum, and so I do just that. Hey, they're gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Ooh. Yikes. I'm glad I saved. I'm glad I didn't wait until Abstract Papa. I gotta do all that farming again. So I farm everything again, pick up the hyper spray, go to the museum, pick up the obsidian goblet, and blow right through the underground section, and it wasn't until the labyrinth where the gun kills trophy finally popped. Oh! Going back. I'm going back, we're doing the second save. Up next is the boss fight with Abstract Papa, so what I, and many others like to do here, is go and grab the great knife, back into a corner, and then spam the swing button so that you lock him in an animation loop, which kills it in just a few seconds. And now comes the double feature that is Eddie and the boat. The second phase of Eddie's fight is an absolute crapshoot. Sometimes he'll run into every one of your attacks, other times he'll break your ankles and land every hit on you. No! Despite doing an absolute shitty job of fighting Eddie, I did end up beating him, which meant that it was now time for the infamous boat section. So, on every other difficulty, controlling the boat is as easy as pushing forward on the stick to go forward. But on hard difficulty, the controls change dramatically. You have to simulate rowing the boat with both sticks on the controller, spinning them in a circle. The left stick in a counterclockwise motion, and the right stick in a clockwise motion. If you want to turn, you have to spin one of the sticks to go whichever direction you so choose. And what makes it all worse is that you have to complete this section in under 80 seconds, which is extremely restrictive. And the only way to tell if you made it under that time limit is if the trophy pops for that requirement. Also, please ignore what I'm doing to the face cam. It kind of helps me to like bounce to the rhythm of the rowing to go as fast as possible. You know what? There. That's better. Seeing as this was my first attempt at this requirement, I most certainly did not make it under the time limit. Following up a loss like that was futile, so I took the night off to mentally reset and come back the next day, wanting to practice the boat section on a separate save file, so that I'd be prepared for when it actually matters in a real run. And, well, let's just say the Gray Scott moment happened. Alright. Shit. I hope I didn't pop the trophy doing that. That was pretty quick. Bruh. You know, setting aside that I'm a massive moron, I did find that using the chainsaw during Eddie's fight was actually really effective and fairly consistent too, so there's some good news. And on my second attempt at the boat section, I did a much better job, and thanks to my Twitch chat who timed me, I knew I made it. So special thanks to Devilman, Lord Wigwam, Vanzy, and Avatar. Now having arrived at the Lakeview Hotel, I was faced with quite the problem. I was still short a good handful of melee kills, and so I scoured every inch of the hotel looking for more enemies to kill, and then something strange started to develop. Why is the audio bugging out? Shit, I need 7. Audio, please? Whoa. Why does this always happen to me? Why does this always happen to me? What do I do? I'm stuck underneath the ground. Why me? Why does this have to happen to me? Yeah, it was a little annoying to lose a run like this, but knowing I had this in the bag, I loaded up my second save of the run again. It's like I arrived and cursed you. It's all your fault, Lord Wigwam. How you doing? Hope you're well. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Don't tell me everything's fucked. You guys do realize if everything's fucked, I have to do every single playthrough all over again. Because you have to have all the endings. If it's all gone, I have to do everything over again. Okay. Alright. We're okay. After nearly having a heart attack, I went through everything once again, getting the required amount of melee kills, grabbing the Book of Crimson Ceremony, and making the final run to the door for the dog ending to see if I finally got the 10-star run. I'm skipping the ending, I'm sorry. The time limit scares me. Yes! Let's go! With the 10-star run completed, I popped 4 trophies tied to different requirements of the run. After this, I loaded up my second save of the 10-star run. Remember when I used the blue gem back at the hospital? Well, that was so I didn't have to run through the game again to get the UFO ending. So from my second save, I made it to the docks to use the blue gem again, and then finally a third time in the hotel to get the UFO ending, thus popping the Never to Be Heard From Again trophy. I then started one last new game to run to the motorhome on Saul Street to grab the green hyperspray, popping both the final trophy as well as the platinum trophy. Let's go! Woo-hoo! I feel pretty confident in saying this is probably the hardest thing I've done on the channel. So with that in mind, I feel as though this platinum's difficulty is a 9 out of 10. Because goddamn did it kick my ass. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if I get 5K subs by the end of the year, I'll do the Outlast games. Okay, bye!